Hello there, this is Mike Graham with weight loss and personal development rather. And today I wanted to talk to you about whether life is unfair or not. And of course, you know, it isn't everything is done according to tight rules of justice, but this concerns whether people should feel aggrieved that they can hardly eat anything without stacking on pounds, whereas there's somebody they're sitting near or know very well who can eat like a horse and never seems to get fat. So what is it? Why is it? It's one of the great mysteries of life if you've been overweight for a lot of it, as I have. And I'm sure for many people it's the same, particularly amongst the women. And there are many reasons why people believe that this is so. You know, oh, I've got the fat gene. You know, you've actually got this special nasty gene that's pulling you down. I've got big bones. I've got a slow metabolism, which is a reason I thought I was overweight. And there are a myriad of other excuses. And not really, I don't think too many of them actually hold water. The big boned one is particularly ridiculous, you know. Yes, if you're tall, if you've got broad shoulders and stuff, you probably do have bigger bones than other people. But that doesn't necessarily mean to say that you're naturally going to be overweight, because you're quite as capable of losing weight as anybody else is, provided you have a method to do it and you have the willpower. So I think it's easier to invoke things like family cooking culture. Your grandparents and your parents will have evolved a certain style of cooking in their lives. And if you come from a traditional family, then, you know, it's mother that does the cooking. And their mother before them and their mother before them. And certain sort of things get handed down, like a modus operandi, where in a family which naturally likes rich food and eats a lot of puddings and stuff, you know, there's going to be a lot of cream and fats around which put on weight. And that sort of cooking culture carries over from generation to generation. And because what you get used to eating, very often you'll carry on after you leave home and start a family of your own. And so whether, you know, and most women like to appeal to their husbands or to their boys, their sons, you know, by cooking for them. They get a lot of pride out of it, or they used to. Things aren't quite so clear-cut now, I know. But there's still a tendency within mothers to want to nurture their family and to give them good food and to be appreciated for cooking good food. And I know there are obvious exceptions, but that is how it basically works. And so, you know, how can you appeal more to people than by cooking them nice puddings and cakes and, you know, special meals that you don't think about being fat conducive when you make them really tasty, you know. Whereas if you were just looking at the sort of calorific value of meals, then you might think a bit more wisely before tipping a whole load of oil into this pan when you start to cook, and using dumplings and potatoes in your stew and things like that, rather than using a lot of calorie-free vegetables, for instance. So that's one reason. Another reason is people suffer emotional upset. And eating can often be a way of dealing with the emotional upset. And if you haven't been there, then you ain't lived. This is very common and affects some people more than others. And a lot of women find this, you know, they blow up when they've had a relationship breakup and their body just gets out of control for a while, because they binge eat and they also get bored, and you know, all sorts of things happen. And men do it as well, but at different times. And obviously if you're bored or you're stressed, then, you know, there's the food cupboard, your eternal friend waiting anxiously for you to come and take something. So food sort of fills in for an awful lot of good emotions and a lot of positive situations. It's there to be relied on instead, and stress can cause all sorts of reactions in a body. And learning how to control stress is a very vital part of trying to get past these sort of times, because stress doesn't have to knock you out. Learning how to deal with it is a real life skill, and it's as much a life skill as any. And so if you can learn how to deal with stress properly and to understand that it doesn't have to run your life, then you may not find that you're resorting to the food cupboard quite as easily, because you're feeling more in control once you learn how to master it. And similarly with emotional eating. But overall, if you're somebody that has a problem with their weight, and you've looked upon other people with envy because they don't seem to have a problem at all, however much they stuff their faces with, then it's also worth having a look at whether they're sort of likely to be stressed people and emotional people and things like that. And another factor is actually you may secretly always have wanted to learn about nutrition, and when having to lose weight is a perfect way of actually learning nutrition and how the body works more, and what sort of foods you can put into it, the sort of balance of foods you can put in, and learning how to take weight off. It's a great life skill, and basically we should be taught this at a much younger age, in a way that's user friendly, so that we get the right information. Because having properly balanced meals that cover all bases is a really good start to understanding how nutrition works. And not loading our plates with loads of carbohydrates is a way of turning around a problem like weight with a more practically useful method. So when you are looking at these people that have absolutely no problem with their weight, you want to look further behind the scenes than just wonder what's going on in their lives and how they eat normally, and do they naturally stop eating when they feel they've had enough, or are they just continually going on until they've had too much? Because really, we don't want to eat until we're full. We don't want to just, finally surrender to reality because we can't fit any more food into our stomachs. We want to leave a little bit of room when we get up from the table. We don't have to fill completely up. And maybe these people have a more natural sense of that they don't go too far, that they don't, go back for seconds when they don't need it. They view food as a fuel rather than as a friend who keeps them company and provides nice tastes. They were sort of maybe have a more practical view on the matter, which of course if you have to lose weight, then you get an idea of as well. And if you've managed to lose weight and then maintain it, you'll understand exactly what I mean. You don't have to eat more than is necessary. You'll have the energy to get through to the next meal in spite of what you may feel at the time. And that's it really. I hope this video is useful to you if you watch it. But if you're one of those that does have a weight problem, consider all possibilities. That actually you just need to understand nutrition and get a good weight loss program to take the weight off and to keep you lost. Okay? Bye for now.